Yo guys, welcome back to another video on the channel where today I want to fully go over the brand new series on my channel called Broke Boy Goes to Japan. Essentially, this series is pretty simple. The basis of it is that I want to get to Japan in 5.5 months. And at the moment, I don't have enough money to do so. So what's gonna happen is you and I are going to go on a crazy adventure together, doing Pokemon flips, doing side hustles, and tons more. So stay tuned to get all of the information that you need to know about this brand new series. Essentially, I've got 5.5 months to pull this off. And instead of picking up a normal job, I thought, instead of using a traditional job, I thought, why not try and fund the whole trip using flipping and side hustles and a bunch of other stuff that I've learned from, I guess, over my life, to be able to go to Japan and spend a month in the country doing crazy, incredible things. Things like cards, collectibles, and little flips that I find online. Basically anything that can turn into cash legally. The goal is around 8,000 to 9,000 New Zealand dollars, considering that I am a New Zealander, right? That should cover things like flights, Airbnbs or hotels, food, single day adventures, or bulk shopping, things like that. I'll break down the budget properly to give you a gauge of how much I want to be able to spend in a bit. So here's the thing. The main portion of this series will use a method called flipping. Things like thrifting and random finds as well could also be involved in the series. I haven't really decided that yet, but you know, it could be ranging from games to garage sale items, stuff like that. And then the third portion is YouTube. Let's say I get 1,000 subscribers over time throughout the series before I actually want to go to Japan. Let's just say I get to 1,000 subs, right? I then, I start to make a good amount of money, which is great. I'm super excited if, that goal actually gets hit during the series. That would be incredible. So make sure you're subbed to the channel for that. Essentially, every dollar that I make from the series gets added to the total, and overall the goal is to reach around $8,000 to $9,000, comfortable enough to have a 1-month trip in Japan, do some cool stuff, see some cool things, etc, etc. You know the deal, basically. I'll be showing the numbers each episode so that you can see if I'm actually making progress or just making a mess of the plans. So, the series upload schedule goes like this. Every day, basically, apart from, I guess, the last day of the week. So 6 days, for 6 days, you'll get a short per day. Essentially, each short will contain me being active in hunting deals, finding out if they're worth flipping, showing the profits or losses that I make, and then updating the fund counter. I don't really know how to make it animated, so for the most part it'll just be pretty static, but I think overall that's completely fine. That doesn't concern me, and it probably shouldn't concern you. It's just a number counter basically, which is completely fine and okay with me. And then on the last day of the week, I will upload a long form video talking about all of the flips that I'd managed in that week, how much I'd made overall in the week, and a ton of other little details, things like what could I do next week, what can I improve if there were any flips that went badly, or how can I execute this better. Self-reflection-y stuff for sure, but still definitely some important stuff in there. So in terms of the budget, I wanted to go over it. Basically, for the flights, the amount of money that I'm expecting to pay is around $1,100 to $1,300. For accommodation, probably around $2,700 to $3,000, just because I want to be able to, stay in some decent accommodation. I know Japan has some really good cheap accommodation as well, so largely it's, I guess, what I can find, and if there's anything that I can find for, $50, $60, I'd be happy with that as well. That's per night, right? ChatGPT is estimating that $80 a night would be the fitting budget part for this, so if it's $50, $60 a night, I can definitely save some money and spend that on something more worth it, I think. For food, definitely bringing some home, expected to pay around $1,500 to $1,600 there. I guess that is including konbini stores, which is just another word for convenience store in Japan. So that's like konbini stores, restaurants, places like McDonald's or something, general food, and then all the potential Kit Kats that you can find at Don Quixote or Donkey, so things like that. Activities, probably around $500 to $600 potentially, looking around that range, maybe higher, maybe lower, depending on how much I spend on accommodation, so I could dedicate some more money to spending on things like activities. Shopping and souvenirs comes to probably around $1,000 to $1,500. Again, if I find cheaper hotels that are still very high quality, I can look to increase that budget. Miscellaneous / buffer comes to around $500. This is just for miscellaneous things, or just as a buffer, just so that I don't drain myself of any money, or you could even class this as like emergency if you really wanted to. So overall, the total goal is $8,500 to $9,000. I did say $8,000 before, but realistically it's more like $8,500 to $9,000, which overall I think is pretty decent. Of course, if this all works into my favor, I'm gonna be able to spend a month long in Japan in March, be able to do some really cool things, and that's just the beginning of it. Remember, I can do this series for different things, different types of things if I wanted to. I've just been wanting to go to Japan for like 2 years now, due to the fact that, well, funnily enough, Fortnite brought me to this, specifically with Chapter 4 Season 2. If you remember that season, if you love that season, you're goated. You're like automatically my friend. So overall, I think this could potentially go very well, or could potentially go very wrong, but there's not really much in it for losses. Like, I could still make money, not go to Japan, but take this as a learning experience, right? Like, it can also just be used as a learning experience for me and a learning experience for you. So if you want to watch me make this happen, or attempt to try and make this happen, make sure to leave a like on the video, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a notification when I post a long form video, and of course keep an eye out for those shorts as well, because that's the key to the series. If you're not on YouTube and you're more of an Instagram person, you're also going to see those there. So I am very excited to start the series, and yeah, first flip video, or just first day in general, will drop soon, so I hope you guys are prepared for that. Again, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, and I will see you guys later today, because remember, these flip videos are going to be dropping at the end of the night, so every night you should be able to expect a new flip video to release. Catch you guys later today, and I'll see you in the next video when we start Broke Boy Goes to Japan. Peace.